Journals or diaries can be used to express your deepest thoughts and desires. But what happens when those thoughts and desires are violent and criminal? From serial killers' inner thoughts to friends wanting revenge. Let's talk about this and more only in today's video. Starting off this countdown, we have Joseph Goebbels. Joseph Goebbels was a German Nazi politician who was one of the most powerful members of the Nazi Party during World War II next to Hitler. Now, this guy's journal showed that he was quite literally obsessed with Hitler. He idolized him and thought everything he was doing was great. Honestly, some of these entries make it seem like he was a little too obsessed with him. For example, and I quote, "He jumps up at once, stands there before us, squeezes my hand like an old friend, and those big blue eyes like stars. He is glad to see me. I am in heaven. This man has everything it takes to be a king, the born tribune of the people, a coming dictator." You know, the whole big blue eyes part and the "I'm in heaven" seems like he was in love. Anyways, imagine being that infatuated with a mass murderer. It's very sickening. In fact, he was so devoted to him that one day after he took his own life, Joseph did too. He poisoned his wife and 6 kids before taking his own life. In our 9th spot, we have the evil friend. When Eternity Andrich was young, she decided to snoop around her friend Rachel's house and read her diary. What she found was very disturbing. So she was at Rachel's house for a sleepover, and in the middle of the night, she woke up to get some water and decided she was going to pull a prank on Rachel. She ended up rummaging through her drawers to see what she had, and that's when she came across her diary. And what she read left her mortified. In the first few entries, she wrote about all the dark things that she wanted to do to her, including kidnapping and torturing her, cutting her up into little pieces, and burning her alive. She also wrote how she hurts small animals and once dissected a living baby hamster, and another time she killed a kitten. Obviously, Eternity did not sleep that night. She was too paranoid that Rachel was planning on killing her in her sleep. The next morning, when Rachel's mom was up, she decided to show her what her daughter was writing about. Imagine that though, thinking your best friend loves you, and in reality, she just wants to kill you. In our 8th spot, we have Dylan Klebold. Dylan Klebold was one of the 2 Columbine high school shooters. His journal showed police what kind of person he really was. He was suffering from low self-esteem and depression. He was clearly frustrated in his life, and he wanted more friends, but found it hard for his peers to accept him. His final journal entries were the worst. He had a detailed plan of what he was going to do that day. One entry goes, and I quote, "Walk in, set bombs at 11:09 for 11:17. Leave, set car bombs. Drive to Clement Park, gear up, get back by 11:15. Park cars, set bombs for 11:18. Get out, go to outside hill, wait." That was one of his final diary entries before the attack. Coming in at number 7, we have the tunnel. So according to this next individual who would like to remain anonymous, they found a journal by a tunnel in their hometown. So they decided to take it home and read it. The tunnel is known for being a creepy spot in the town, and a lot of people think that it's haunted. Anyways, the journal apparently belonged to a teen named Jerry. He documented how him and his 3 friends were gonna go check out this tunnel at night. But as soon as he got there, these friends beat him up and left him in there. All Jerry had was his journal and his phone with him, which was quickly losing battery life. He used his journal to document what he was going through, and it's quite sad. Eventually, he starts to spiral into madness, being in this tunnel lost and not knowing how to get home. He wrote how he kept hearing voices and felt like something was watching him. The last thing Jerry wrote was, "I fear darkness." Who knows what happened to him after that? In our 6th spot, we have Eric Harris. Eric Harris was the other teen who took part in the Columbine shootings. Eric's journal entries were pretty similar to Dylan's. You could tell he felt out of place in this world, unwanted and unappreciated. He felt rejected by society. Eric's journal is far more creepier than Dylan's just because there were a number of dark drawings in it, like drawings of people getting shot and killed, along with drawings of swastikas and guns. He also left a creepy message in his journal directed towards his peers. He cursed them out, saying that they had his phone number and they could have invited him to social outings, and how it's their fault that he decided to lash out. We are now at our 5th and halfway mark with the Stalker. In 2018, a woman went viral online for posting creepy diary entries she found in her coworker's journal. The entries were about her and how obsessed he was with her. According to her, she sat next to her obsessed coworker for 3 years. She was friendly with him, but barely spoke to him after he asked her on a date, which she turned down. But clearly, he couldn't take no for an answer. After she turned him down, he went on to write creepy things about her in his diary, like documenting her daily outfits and what she talks about with her colleagues. Like, this is a real-life Joe Goldberg here. He even went on to write about his imagined future with her. Here's an excerpt from her diary. "I'm coming for you, my love. Coming for us. The flirting with blank needs to end. I try to be understanding. Women are evolutionarily wired to flirt, but hearing you banter with him 2 or 3 times a week when you know I'm listening makes my blood boil. Be modest and meek and pure like you should." So yeah, this is literally Joe's inner dialogue from the show You. But it doesn't stop there. The woman was so creeped out that she had to change jobs, but he ended up randomly showing up at her house. Eventually, she got a restraining order against him, and now he's currently in prison. Moving on to number 4, we have Pearl Moen. In November 2017, Pearl Moen attacked and killed an innocent woman. She stabbed her 21 times before fleeing and writing about this thrilling experience in her diary. She wrote how much she enjoyed it. This is one of the entries found inside of her journal, and I quote, "I stabbed an innocent woman to death earlier today. It was absolutely fantastic. Murder gives me a high unlike any other. It feels like this crisp unreality, flashing and sparkling adrenaline and shock. Fight or flight mode." Thankfully, the victim actually survived this attack, and Pearl was on the run for 3 months. Now, one of the things that actually led to her arrest was her diary and that entry. Like, she clearly confessed that she did the crime. What's crazy is Pearl's lack of remorse. She literally stabbed this woman just because she had feelings to do so and didn't regret it one bit. In the end, she was arrested and was sentenced to 15 years in jail. Moving on, at number 3, we have Jason Massey. American serial killer Jason Massey kept a journal to detail his sick thoughts and plans. In his journal, he talked all about his disgusting and violent fantasies, even saying that his goal was to kill 700 people in 20 years. He also wrote about wanting to become a famous serial killer and also wanted to do sexual deeds with the bodies after they were dead. Like, if that isn't disturbing, I don't know what is. In 1993, Jason executed his first kill. He took the lives of 2 boys. Eventually, this led to his death by electric chair in 2001. In the end, his journals were found by a hiker in the woods. The hiker came across a red cooler, and when they opened it, it contained 4 of his journals titled The Slayer's Book of Death. Inside the cooler, there was also a number of animal skulls. In our second spot, we have Alyssa Bustamante. In October of 2009, Alyssa's next-door neighbor begged her to come over to play with her daughter, Elizabeth Olton. She agreed and went out to play with Elizabeth. And that's the last time Elizabeth was ever seen. The next day, police got a hold of Alyssa's diary, which went into horrific detail about what she had done to Elizabeth. One entry read as so: "I just effing killed someone. I don't know how to feel at the moment. It was amazing. As soon as you get over the, oh my god, I can't do this feeling, it's pretty enjoyable. I'm kind of nervous and shaky though right now. Okay, I gotta go to church now, lol." How disturbing is that? And the fact that she murdered someone and then went to church pretending like everything was fine, it just gives me the chills. But this entry was used as evidence against her in court, and it led to her arrest. And in our number 1 spot today, we have Westley Allan Dodd. Westley Allan Dodd is an American serial killer that has been given the name one of the most evil killers in history. This is due to the fact that in 1989, he took advantage of and murdered 3 boys in Washington. He was finally caught when he tried to kidnap another victim from a movie theater. When police officers found his journal, they were deeply disturbed. In fact, when they read it out loud in court as evidence, one of the jurors became ill. He talked about everything from his kidnapping plans to his sexual fantasies, and even detailed accounts of him taking advantage of the victims. One entry says, and I quote, 7:29 p.m. to 10:45 p.m. Watched The Bear at theater. Followed one boy to the bathroom, intending to say, "Come with me," and take him out of the theater and to my apartment. But he was coming out as I went in. Should have known kids would go quick to get back to movie faster. I'll try again Sunday for 2 or 3 movies if I don't get a boy at the park in the morning. His journal also included drawings of torture racks for his future victims. In 1993, Todd was executed by hanging. Alright guys, that's all for today's video. I know it was a pretty dark and depressing one. Honestly, I have the chills after this one. But that's all. If you want to see part 2, I guess let me know in the comments below and smash that like button. Obviously, subscribe to Most Amazing Top 10 for more amazing videos. I've been your host, Lindsay Ivan, and I'll see you when I see you. Bye.